She knew the answer. Someone asked her a simple question. 7 words. She understood every one of them. But her mouth stayed closed, and by the time the words came, the moment had already passed. You know that feeling. Today, her story. And the skill she found that changed everything. It can change things for you too. I'm Coach Ethan, and welcome to the English Pack. Take a deep breath. Today's story begins now. Here's what we're building today. By the end of this episode, you will have followed a complete story in English and walked away with one skill you can use before your next conversation. Just listen. Let the English come to you. One thing before we begin. You don't need to understand every word. You don't need to stop and look things up. Just follow the story. If you miss something, keep going. Your brain is learning even when you don't realize it. Ready? Let's meet Mia. Chapter 1. The Playground. It was a Saturday afternoon in November. The kind of afternoon where the sky can't decide between gray and blue, and ends up being both. Mia sat on a bench at the edge of the playground watching her son Daniel run between the swings and the small yellow slide. He was 4 years old. He laughed at everything. He had no idea that his mother was terrified of this place. Not of the playground itself, of the people in it. The other parents stood in small groups near the gate, talking easily, laughing at things Mia could not quite hear. She understood most of what they said when she listened carefully. But understanding and speaking were two very different things. She had lived in this country for 2 years. She had taken classes. She had practiced at home, in front of the mirror, the way her teacher had shown her. But here, surrounded by strangers who spoke without thinking, her English felt very far away. So she sat on her bench. And she watched, and she waited for Daniel to be ready to go home. Notice something. Mia understands everything around her. She's not missing the English. She's missing one thing, the bridge between understanding English and actually using it. Keep watching. Chapter 2. The Question. It happened quickly. Daniel was playing near the slide when another child, a little girl in a red coat, picked up a small blue toy car from the ground. Daniel's toy car. The girl's mother walked over. She was friendly. Kind eyes. A warm smile. She looked at Mia and said, "Excuse me. Does this belong to your little one?" 7 words. Simple words. Words Mia had heard before. Words she knew. But in that moment, something happened inside her. Her mind went very quiet. She could feel the woman waiting. She could feel the other parents nearby. Not watching, but somehow present. She opened her mouth. And what came out was not English. It was her own language. Just one word. A word that meant yes. The woman smiled politely. She handed the toy to Daniel and walked back to her group. The moment was over in seconds. But Mia sat with it for the rest of the afternoon. All the way home on the bus. All through making dinner. All night. One word. One small question. And she had disappeared inside herself. 7 words. She understood every one of them. But understanding is not the same as responding. Under pressure, the answer stays inside. And silence comes out instead. Watch what Mia does next. This is where the skill begins. Chapter 3. The Decision. That evening, after Daniel was asleep, Mia sat at the kitchen table with a cup of tea she forgot to drink. She wasn't angry. She wasn't sad exactly. She was tired. Tired of sitting on the bench. Tired of watching from the edge. Tired of knowing the answer and not being able to say it. She opened her phone. She looked at the Notes app. the one where she wrote English sentences she was trying to remember. She scrolled through them slowly. "Excuse me, could you help me?" "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that." "Yes, that belongs to us." That last one, she read it 3 times. Then she typed a new list. Sentences for the playground. The real ones. The ones people actually say on a Saturday afternoon. "Yes, that's his. He's 4. Almost 5. It looks like rain, doesn't it? Thank you for bringing it over. Yes, every time." 5 sentences. She looked at them for a long time. Then she put her phone down, finished her cold tea, and went to bed. Did you see what she just did? Writing 5 sentences for one situation. That is sentence banking. Not grammar. Not vocabulary lists. Just this. Think about one place where you always go quiet. Write 5 sentences you might need there. Say them out loud. Until they feel like yours. Mia didn't need perfect English. She needed ready English. Watch what happens next. Chapter 4. The practice. The week that followed was quiet. Every morning while Daniel watched cartoons, Mia practiced. Not grammar, not vocabulary lists, just those 5 sentences. Out loud, standing in her kitchen. Sometimes twice, sometimes 10 times. She felt a little silly at first. Then less silly. Then almost normal. Daniel walked in one morning while she was talking to herself. He looked at her seriously. "Are you okay, Mama?" She laughed. "I'm practicing," she said, in English. He nodded like that made perfect sense. Then he went back to his cartoons. Chapter 5. Next Saturday. The following Saturday was cold and clear. The playground was full. Mia arrived with Daniel and found her usual bench. She sat down, but this time she didn't look away from the other parents. She watched them, not nervously, just watching, noticing how they started conversations, the small words they used, the way they smiled before they spoke. Daniel ran toward the slide. A little boy ran after him, and then a voice beside her. They always find each other, don't they? A woman had sat down at the other end of the bench. Older, gray scarf, a kind face. Mia felt the familiar tightening in her chest, but she also felt something else. She thought of her kitchen. She thought of her 5 sentences. She thought of Daniel asking if she was okay. And she said, "Yes, every time." 2 words, but they were hers. In English. Said without waiting. Said without disappearing. "I'm Margaret. I'm Mia." They sat together for a while, not talking much, just watching their children play. And for the first time in 2 years, Mia didn't feel like she was sitting at the edge of something. She felt like she was inside it. 2 words, that's all. But they were ready. She had practiced them. They were already hers. That's sentence banking working. You don't need 50 sentences. You need 5 real ones for the moment you're already in. That's Mia's story, and I think you recognized something in it. Maybe it wasn't a playground. Maybe it was an office, a classroom, a phone call that went wrong. But the feeling was the same. You were there, you understood, you knew the answer, and still, the words didn't come. That moment doesn't mean your English is broken. It means you haven't yet built the bridge between knowing and saying. Mia built hers in a kitchen with 5 sentences and a son who thought she was a little strange. You can build yours tonight. Before we practice together, let's go back into Mia's story. 4 words, all worth keeping. There's one word from Mia's story I want you to keep. Terrified. Mia was terrified of the playground, not the swings, not the slide, the people. Terrified means extremely afraid, the kind of fear that makes you go quiet. She was terrified of saying the wrong thing. He felt terrified before his first English class. If you've ever gone quiet because you were afraid of saying the wrong thing, this word belongs in your vocabulary. Here's another word worth keeping: familiar. She felt the familiar tightening in her chest. Familiar means something you recognize, something you have felt before. That familiar feeling of going blank, the familiar silence before a difficult moment. When something is familiar, it means you've been here before, and you survived it before. This next word is at the heart of the story: belong. Does this belong to your little one? To belong means to be the right owner of something, but we also use it for people. She finally felt like she belonged. He stood at the edge, not sure if he belonged. Objects belong to people. People belong somewhere. Mia found where she belonged, 2 words at a time. And the last word, the one the whole story is built around: edge. She sat at the edge of the playground. She didn't feel like she was at the edge anymore. Edge means the border of something, the place that is almost inside, but not quite. He always stood at the edge of the group. She spent years at the edge of conversations. The whole story is about moving from the edge to the inside, one sentence at a time, 4 words, all from one afternoon in a playground, all worth keeping. Today's bold phrase is the sentence that changed everything for Mia. Yes, every time. Say it with me. Yes, every time. 2 words, simple, confident. This phrase works anytime someone says something you agree with or relate to. Children make friends so quickly. Yes, every time. The weather has been strange lately. Yes, every time this month. Mia didn't plan that sentence. It came because she had practiced enough that English stopped feeling like a test and started feeling like a reflex. That's the moment English stops feeling memorized and starts feeling natural. One more time. Yes, every time. Own it. Mia banked 5 sentences for her playground. Let's practice them together. I'll say each one slowly. You pause and say it after me. Yes, that belongs to us. He's 4, almost 5. Thank you for bringing it over. It looks like rain, doesn't it? Yes, every time. 5 sentences, a complete conversation for a Saturday afternoon. Mia practiced these in her kitchen. You just practiced them here. They're already a little more yours than they were 5 minutes ago. Mia sat on that bench for months before she said 2 words. Now it's your turn. Think of one situation where you regularly go quiet. A shop, a phone call, a classroom pickup, a work meeting. Post 1 sentence in the comments. 1 real sentence you might need in that moment. That comment is your first deposit in your sentence bank. I'll be reading every sentence you share. I can't wait to see your sentence bank. Before you go, you don't have to be fluent to belong. You just have to have the right sentence ready and say it before the moment passes. Remember, understand it, own it, use it today. Until next time, speak boldly.